Hello everybody, Jesse Boudreau here, Plant Man. Just wanted to take a little bit of your time, talk a little bit more about this concept. I've been talking about how a vegetarian diet is probably what our ancestors ate, given our morphological features, our teeth shape and our gut shape. And I did an episode a while ago about biophotons and chi or electricity in raw food, and how raw food is an amazing healing modality because it balances your acidity and alkalinity and cleans out all the toxins out of you and supplants them with nutrient. And so I've been helping people here. It's been pretty exciting. A lot of our friends have been getting into raw food, and it's been very helpful. So that has been really rewarding. Wanted to talk more about this whole thing about electricity and energy, and how through meditation and diet we can all live in a quasi-enlightened, if not enlightened state. I think we're all born naturally enlightened, joyous, blissful beings who are sovereign and without doubt or fear. And it's only over time that we learn those fears. So that ties into the whole thing of thoughts, and how thoughts are part of the acidity alkalinity balance in your body. It's all these yin yang aspects of yourself, as the Chinese, ancient Chinese would put it. You have a cold part of you and a warm part of you. Yeah, and this corresponds with medical science too. You have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is those states of calm and creativity and bliss, and the sympathetic nervous system is fight and flight, stress, worry, planning, reasoning. So we've been kind of running high on the sympathetic nervous system as a culture. I think most of us are pretty stressed most of the time. I know I am. I know that eating raw food and meditating has been a great boon to my emotional stability. It's one of those things where it's like you're always learning. I mean, right now we're transitioning into this new business, and we're living like on a third as much money as usual, but it's a nice practice in minimalism. And our tendency is to try and speed up and worry and stress, and we just keep wanting to slow down. And I think it's part of these times, the shift that's occurring. The 2012 shift is as much an internal shift as an external shift. And there will be, changing in magnetism. And being electromagnetic beings, I think we feel that subtly. I think everyone feels that. And I think it's something to attune to. I think that's part of what this whole shift is about. If you listen to Dr. Robert Kasser, he's a very well-studied, very interesting man, very kind of esoteric or eccentric, but very, very on the level. And he talks about how we actually have measurable frequencies in our mind that you can measure with EEG, and that your base frequency, your sex and your drive for food is right around 6, or it's actually 6.66 if you're having an orgasm. And then it works up from there. I think the heart's at 8, and then you get to higher octaves as you move up the chakra system, higher frequencies. So a lot of people out there experiencing economic stress. I know I am, and that kind of keeps you a little bit in that base area until you can get secure with that, it's hard to go up into the other chakras. But I think that's what we're all coming to at this time, is learning to attune to nature and attune to our rhythms and attune to the sun, because the sun is at a new frequency. In 1996, it stopped burning hydrogen and started burning helium. It was all over. NASA, was very excited about it, and it was, published in articles and stuff, but no one really thought about it. And here in New Mexico, I've definitely noticed a change in light. The light is more intense. I've been a landscaper for 10 years and gardener, farmer, and out in it every day. And it seems more intense now than it has ever been in my life. And I think if you look into cymatics, which is the study of how sound forms matter, and they take these little plates and put sand particles on them and hit the white keys on the keyboard, and the higher the frequency, the more complex the geometric shape. These geometric shapes form, platonic solids and stuff. And the higher the frequency, the higher the complexity. And I think that's what we're all feeling too. Everybody I know is busier than they can handle, and it's kind of one of those things where it's a change in frequency, as people have been saying over the years. And I think it's attuning us to our multidimensionality. If you think of us as beings of light, the Tibetans talk about transforming into the rainbow body at a certain level. An adept is able to become a rainbow of light, essentially. And they can bilocate, be in two places at once, or fly. All kinds of stuff perhaps is possible, especially considering now all the things in quantum physics that they're saying with respect to the intent of the observer being an effect on the outcome of an experiment. And we see this with Dr. Emoto's work with water, and it's just one of those things where we're mostly water, we're being hit by higher frequency light, and I think raw food is one of the technologies that's coming out from inside of us that is part of our Atlantean or Lemurian deep ancestry, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe it wasn't high civilization, but I call into question that it probably is, because if you look at the megalithic sites across the world, we still haven't figured out how they put that stuff together. So, anyway, that leads in, I just want to wrap it up here into this thought I've had about, if you look at the sarcophagus lid of, I think it was Pakal, I forget now which Mayan leader, but I believe it was Pakal. It shows him essentially as a rocket ship, and that's information coming through too, that your heart is a magnetic toroidal, you're basically a spaceship. You have the dreamer, the spirit that activates everything in reality with your body and your consciousness, and that's really emanates from your heart. And that if we learn to attune to the vibrations of the heart, which is the great big electromagnetic field that extends away from our body, we may be able to tune into these seemingly unrealistic realms of fantasy of flight and transformation into light. As Einstein had said, we would, at our greatest evolutionary height, just become light. So eating light foods, meditating, allowing thoughts and light to flow through you, through your heart, and love to you all.